Yeah, it's officially t-shirt weather. So, got done rolling some old shelled corn here, and this is the end result. It's just gone through and cracked. We're getting about 99% processed. A few random kernels really don't hurt my feelings. And my whole roller mill thing has just kind of been a gradual work in progress because I didn't know I was doing this until like late November. And this whole mess from here that way, all it is the roller mill, the concentrate feeder, and then you got a conveyor, which we actually flipped around. It used to actually throw on this side back when we had the dairy, because Grandpa had a big grain cart that we would fill every day, twice a day, to feed the cows. We come to find that we prefer it on the right hand side, so when we had it tore apart and rebuilt it, we flipped it the other way, and everything from here up has been kind of a mishmash work in progress, just kind of Frankensteining it together. Originally it was just, and we had this on it from, well, I'm actually trying to cheat here a little bit. I used it for storing a little bit more extra corn here because it does, the most time consuming part of this is just running it through. So in 30 minutes or so is what it takes, and it makes the job a lot easier to do if you're not constantly throwing buckets into this, because this guy was actually mounted on the top here. About January, February or so, I got to thinking, and I don't do it often, but I actually made the 2x4 mishmashed setup here. Went and cut a bunch of plywood and made me a hopper. And the most recent addition is this right here, which I just kind of threw on there because the way this is set up, it never used to have the shut off, the slide valve here. This I added when I put this on. This will hold about 18 buckets of shelled corn, which is great. The only thing is I was looking for at least 20, so I threw this guy up here to get me a little bit more corn. Now the problem with that is when you're dealing with something that's more or less just kind of cobbled together, your support and your ability to hold yourself together start to get tested, because you can see here I don't have a whole lot holding this, the 2x4s here, to the plywood. I actually added this because I was originally just going to do the 2x4s like I did up top, and got tired of looking for 2x4s that would work, so I didn't want to have to use a whole lot, or try to find something just to make it work, which it seems like it's pretty much what I did by using this strap, which is probably what's going to happen back up here, because this is the first real failure I've had with it. If you guys can see that, it pulled the screws out, and the only thing really holding it up, the strap here isn't doing anything for this side. Honestly, this was only to really support the back side because I didn't have anything here really supporting it, and it's plywood, so it kind of mashed out, but it was doing what I wanted to do, and it really didn't concern me too much. And I've only had my little extension on here for just a few days, but what I tend to do is the feed mill backed in here. When all my buckets are empty, when the hopper is empty, I'll go through and fill all of these. I'll fill the concentrate tub, I'll fill that guy, and then I'll actually fill this full of shelled corn as high as I could get it. And I actually ran low on corn. Like, I don't have a whole lot in there yet. And I actually had a bunch of buckets that were already full of corn. So I need to go through and upgrade this toughen this up. The intentions are for the foreseeable future to keep using this. I mean, otherwise it's just sitting and rotting away. My cows generally really, of course, like getting their rolled corn every day, and the mouths to feed has gone up substantially. So what I want to do, got to decide to do, is what's a lot more secure way to fasten that back up. I'll pull those screws out and actually repurpose them along here, and secure that properly on each end. I may actually just go get another strap, you know, reattach it with, you know, some heavier hardware, and then still do the strap around it just because it gives that extra support. I don't really see me doing it, but I'm always sitting here pondering as I'm waiting for this to run out, and I'm looking at it going, you know, I got my extension on here, but it's on the inside. You can see it busted out up here. What would it take to put another piece of plywood, because it's a 3x3 extension up above that yet, and, you know, be able to hold a pile of corn, which I already do. I mean, I've already upgraded from 2 or 3 buckets to 18, and now I'd say I'm pushing probably 20, 25, because once you get above this point and start filling up above this, yeah, it was actually really surprising how much of this I had ground out, and I still had corn up in my extension. So that's kind of the work in progress. So it's one of those things. It's kind of like the calf barn, or my calving setup, where really wasn't planning on using it, and now I know I'm going to be using it next year a lot more out of necessity. But I was actually able to throw 5 cows in there, you know, throughout the course of this past month, and get an idea about what I want to have set up and where I really need to improve before we get into next year. So I got all summer to mess with it, to fix it up and make it better. But what I'm going to go ahead and do, which I can probably do this before I move the four-wheelers, because the gator and the four-wheeler we're going to pull out, the planter. I am fairly happy with how the planter is set up, as in I've gone through and done everything that I would typically do. I'd like to actually pull it out and clean it off by turning the key switch on here. All of the trash whippers, the Reveal row cleaners, are powered by keyed power. That'll run the compressor. That'll raise everything up, and it'll get all of our clearances. I always like to leave them up in the transport position, is what I call it, just because they're up and out of the way and I don't have to worry about them catching anything. As far as everything in here, I was going to utilize my camera. I can't find cameras for it. They are currently out of stock, so I can buy a whole kit, so I can get, you know, the monitor and and one camera and the harness, which is what I'll end up doing, and put that in the 82 for the 569 round baler. But out of necessity, I don't need a camera in here that bad where I'm going to keep scouring the internet looking for one. But it is nice at this point. We were planting beans in about 2 days compared to last year, and I don't think it'll be before May 1st at this point, before we get any planting in. But we're set up to cover a lot more acres more efficiently than what we were when we were running the planter with our standard row units and using the 4640. So the 7600 isn't quite put back together yet. I'm waiting for some random parts for that, and then the cab will be done. The corner post, and I see one of the frames for the mud flaps has cracked and broken out, so I'm going to pull that back in and fix it. The only thing is when we're getting rain like this, it's not enough where we can go where we can't get outside and do something by noon and after, it's firmed up, dried up enough where we can run. Can't sit, not go outside and like do field work, but we can at least get out, check fences, and that's what my brother recommended here again earlier here. Once we get done with all of our random odd jobs that we have to do, you know, getting feet around, and then I'm perfectly fine getting fences checked. We covered a fair amount of ground the other day, a lot more than I thought we would, and we do another day. It'll be a few hours. It's probably gonna be about 2 more days for sure to get the majority of it gone over, at least to where when it comes time where we want to let the cows out to pasture, we can. So, I think that's it. For now, that's it. I'll catch you guys later. Make sure you stay tuned for more farming fun, field work here. I didn't do much of any tillage. I mean, the chiseling and whatnot, that was my dad and my brother. I did seed down a bunch. I seeded all of our oats and our waterways, but on an open station 40/20, it's kind of hard to want to set the camera up and try to talk. And we'll see how the rest of summer goes, because I got about, well, I got almost as, no, I have just a little bit more than what we seeded down this spring. I'm going to try to seed down this summer. So we'll see how that works for us. But until the next video, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Talk to you later. Looks like somebody fell through the fence. The rate we're going, it's just going to be a heavy heifer year, isn't it? Oh well. Well, I gotta get somebody back into his mom.